Kia ora team. Last week I went to Sydney to run a workshop for a group of cardiologists at the Society of Australia and New Zealand, and it was actually around cultural awareness and understanding between cultures to improve equity as an eventual outcome. Really cool thing about this was that I needed to immerse myself into the culture that I was going into. This is the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island culture, and to help them understand and help me understand what needed to happen for these intercultural awarenesses and understandings to take place. For me, it looked like this. Dive into the culture and really get an understanding for it. That meant a bunch of podcasts that were by Aboriginal doctors and Torres Strait Island doctors. It was also reading some books that they'd written. It was also doing a bunch of academic journal research and hitting up ChatGPT to see what else they had to tell me about, right? ChatGPT was super helpful, but also not helpful in some respects because it didn't actually give the context around stuff. So learning for me is that as leaders, we've got to also understand that we work in intercultural and multicultural teams. Whether you think you're all part of one culture or not, there's actually some differences in patterns of behavior, understanding, beliefs, backgrounds, and stories that will impact different individuals in your team. So the cool thing about this was I got to share some of these learnings and understandings. You've actually got to dive right in to learn about someone else's culture. It requires some really important things: humility, courage. Humility to actually realize that you don't know everything about another person's culture or their beliefs or their patterns of behavior or anything of their stories. And courage because you're going to feel awkward and uncomfortable and get a bunch of stuff wrong, and that's okay. What we talked about in this experience was humility being so important. Courage is a foundational value, but also for you to just dive in and get as much, of that wisdom, knowledge, belief, understanding of the culture as you can. So humility, courage, super important for intercultural understanding and really important for us as leaders to know that about our teams.